Hi, my name is Assia Serrano. I remember walking to the Children's Center in the back of the visiting room and inquiring about the program. How did the kids get to visit their mom on their own? And I learned about the teen program. Obviously, my kids were too young to be part of the teen program, but I was so interested. But I knew I had enough time where I would need the support from our children. And from that day, I learned that there was a parenting center where I could take classes, parenting classes, where I could, read stories to my children and all the services that they offer. And I immediately just signed up, and I wanted to be completely involved. I had to learn, I had to figure out how to stay involved in my children's life. So I started teaching prenatal, and then I was able to make that connection. Wow, you were pregnant when you got arrested. The uncertainty of not being able to go to the nursery. And you can provide support whether the woman is accepted into the nursery or not. You are able to be that source of support for her and her child. And because I found ways to remain connected to my children, I was able to also help them stay connected. Even if the child goes home, you still have a responsibility. You're still a mom, and you have to do whatever it takes to be a mom for your child. We have a variety. I love to say we because I still feel like I'm a part of the Parenting Center, because most of my parenting, or all of my parenting, was facilitated by them. If it wasn't because of the Children's Center, I don't think I would have the relationship that I have with my kids. And I spent 17 years in prison, and my kids I was pregnant with my son when I got arrested, and my daughter was only 6 months old. So all of that happened inside there. But in so many ways, the Parenting Center and our children facilitated my relationship with my kids that it felt so fulfilling at the same time. I'm doing this for you, but this was done for me. And even though I didn't get to have a chance to be with my son in the nursery, I was genuinely happy for the women that got to keep their babies. My kids used to refer to the Children's Center as our living room, because it's where most of the conversations took place, but also it was such a comfy place. There was a TV where we could turn on, even if we weren't watching it, but just for the background noise, because it felt like we were home. Instead of having one-day visits, I opted for family reunion visits, which are trailer visits. The kids will stay with me for a weekend, and I get to cook and clean, and cook for them and sleep, read stories. They get to experience you as their moms. And sometimes I did 4 to 5, sometimes 6 visits a year. And the Parenting Center, our children, will pick up my children from the home, will purchase all the food. They will ask me to make a list of the foods that we will need. They will purchase the food, bring my children, and then pick them back up on that Monday to take them back home. Breakfast is provided by the Children's Center. Lunch is provided, and to have the ability to just eat pizza with my kids that I can't purchase, obviously, but that it was provided to us. McDonald's on one day, or Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And they were very young, so they didn't really eat a lot, but they remember those days. Oh my God, we had this experience with her. And then they started visiting once a month with other kids who were, who their mom was incarcerated as well. And so they made friends, they made connections, they shared a bond. And there was no need to explain where you're going, because we all know where we're going. We all know that we have one thing in common, it's that their mom is incarcerated, but we could talk about other things. And they build really lasting relationships. Until this day, my kids are still friends. But some of the kids whose mom are still there, and some moms have been released. And so if it wasn't for our children, I probably would have still had the telephone conversations, because those things are always offered in the Parenting Center. But nothing replaces the face-to-face interactions, the physical contact, my daughter coming on the visit and saying, I need to clean my ear the whole month because I want you to clean it for me. She would lay on my lap. And everybody would laugh. They thought it was the most hilarious thing. She would lay on my lap and she would tell my son, you should try it. He's really good at cleaning ears. Our children, they generated the atmosphere where we were a big family. That we were all in this together, whether that's your mom and you're not related to her, but our experiences are the same. And so the kids learn to rely on each other while the moms learn to rely on one another. We're being responsible moms, and that's what it entails, that's what it requires. So my kids know, they know that if it wasn't for the support that we had through our children in the Parenting Center, that our connection will not be what it is today. And I probably would just been another person in their lives, but not the mom that they so desperately wanted me